Growing up, I was always a kid that loved being active. Whether it was running around in nature or playing tennis and football with my friends, I was always on the move. Another obsession, however, could glue me to the TV for hours. And that was the world of Japanese animes and mangas. The stories and characters of shows like Pokemon, Digimon, Captain Tsubasa, or Detective Conan captured my imagination like nothing else. It was through these animes that I first saw it, the iconic Mount Fuji. I remember being mesmerized and dreaming of seeing the mountain myself one day. Mount Fuji became a symbol of adventure for me. The years passed and I grew up, but that dream never faded. Then, an incredible opportunity came our way. A chance to visit Japan and to run a 35-kilometer trail race in the Mount Fuji highlands, promising the most spectacular views of the tallest mountain in Japan. And I would get a shot at combining my childhood passions of moving my body and being out in nature with my love for Japan, the anime culture, and Mount Fuji. Join me on an adventure to Japan that challenged my beliefs and pushed me to my limits, because what happened during this race, I did not see coming.
Yes, that's me. Morning. Hello. Thank you. Arigatou.
There's good news and there's bad news. The good news is it was supposed to rain cats and dogs this morning, but so far we're pretty lucky. But it is too cloudy to even think of having a glimpse of Mount Fuji. If we're really lucky, it's gonna change, because this is what this race is about as well. You're supposed to get the nicest views of Mount Fuji. One of the reasons why I signed up. We will see. We got a 35-kilometer long course. I estimate I will be out there for around 4 to 5 hours. Yeah, mate. 4 to 5 hours? How about we make it
6.5 hours. Jesus.
But don't worry, that wasn't the last time I made a wrong assumption about this race. Mount Fuji will have enough time to show up. So yeah, let's be positive.
4、3、2、1。
That was the first two waves, now it's our turn. First couple kilometers are all going to be uphill, and I just dropped all the way to the back. There's like almost no one behind me. I think we're doing elevation of 1400 meters. And wrong again. It ended up being 1800 meters, and I really need to do more research before my races. I'm not gonna run any uphills
Gonna walk them all.
Well, at least I made the right call on the race strategy here, because all we did for the first part of the race was climbing and climbing and more climbing. All the way to the top of the first mountain. Where we got to see, well, basically not much at all.
Made it to the top. But no Mount Fuji in sight. Well, we're not giving up yet. It's only the start of the race. 750 meters of elevation done. And we've only covered 6.5 kilometers in distance. Oh my god, that was so steep. We're going down now.
So, after a long and exhausting hike to the first summit, I was looking forward to fly down on the other side of the mountain, but was proven wrong once again when we got stuck in a traffic jam of trail runners lining up to upsell themselves on incredible challenging terrain.
Here. Alright, next aid station, 12 kilometers. Freaking beautiful. Look at this. But still no sign of the big fella. No Mount Fuji.
And as we made our way up to the second mountaintop, which was supposed to be the one with the most promising outlook, it eventually became clear that my dream of seeing Mount Fuji during this race will not come true. But in that moment, as I was standing up there and staring into the clouds, I was less disappointed with the weather and way more disappointed with myself. Yes, seeing Mount Fuji had been a childhood dream of mine. And yes, I wanted this video to be centered around epic footage of the mountain and of beautiful landscapes. But instead of just enjoying this wonderful journey that I am on, I started to focus on a thing that is completely out of my control. After all, I had so much to be grateful for. I am traveling in a country I've always dreamed of. I've been given a healthy body that allows me to do this race. And I'm surrounded by inspiring runners and loving volunteers. With this realization, my mindset finally switched. From feeling entitled to see Mount Fuji to just pure gratitude for the trails and this experience. But just as I thought, I now finally had everything under control. This race threw a final curveball at me.
It's starting to rain now.
And what seemed to be only a couple raindrops at first, quickly turned into a downpour that changed the trails into a muddy creek, until it became borderline impossible to run at all.
It's now absolutely impossible to run down the trails. We're back on the same trail we ran about 2 or 3 hours ago, on the same loop. We were flying down this, I remember it. Now it's impossible to run. Look at this. Definitely have hit the point now where I'm questioning myself signing up for this. Still got 8Ks to go. And my body starts screaming at me. Like my hip, my glutes. So fired up from all the climbing. 1600 meters of elevation. 5 hours into the race. And it's raining cats and dogs. Let's finish it. freaking wet. Right, home stretch. We got 4 Ks to go now. 100 meters of elevation back. Everything's hurting. I think if the 7-year-old me could like see this right now, that little anime and manga freak watching me now running through this Japanese village. This is a beautiful one. After having run 35 kilometers and having the intro of my favorite anime series in my head on loop, that 7-year-old me who would be screaming man. No matter what. I can see the finish line. Whew. Never been so relieved to see a finish line. Thank you. Thank you. 6.5 hours. Jesus. Oh.
One of the reasons why I do long distance races like this is that they almost always provide a lesson you can take into your daily life. I wasted more than half of this race being frustrated that I did not get to see Mount Fuji. But life sometimes is like that. You don't get the job you so badly wanted, your Uber Eats delivery doesn't arrive on time, or someone you love becomes really sick. In my case, it was only the weather having other plans. But the message I'm taking away is still strong. If we take away the frustration we have for the things we cannot control and put gratitude in its place, then our life experience changes for the better. What I'm also grateful for is that you watched this video all the way to the end, and I'm hoping you can take away something from this as well. If you're keen to watch some more videos of mine, like this one right here where I managed to run 100 kilometers, or this one right here where I did a half marathon in the heat of Vietnam, then feel free to watch them. Also, if you enjoyed this, I would really appreciate you subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I see you next time.